Hi, I'm Scott at ediblemusic.com. When you're combining different vocal takes onto one track called comping, you're compiling from all these different takes in order to get the best vocal track as you can. And so there are a few things that you really want to take care with when you're engaging in this process. This is more of an editing process than mixing. And so you want to be paying really close attention to the quality of the recorded performance in three different ways. The first one is tuning. You want the vocalist to have performed in key, trying to hit as few bad notes as possible. The second one is timing. You want the vocalist to be able to match the groove and energy of the song. If it's a laid back song, then the vocalist will want to be kind of laid back in the groove as well. But if the song has a really big chorus that just explodes with the vocal right on the first beat there, then you want the vocal to be really tight on it in order to perform that booming energy that goes into the chorus. So you want to focus on tuning and timing. And the third one is texture. And this can vary in different ways because, say, for the first or second take, the vocalist might not be quite comfortable yet. And so they may sing a little carefully, and that will come through in the performance. And if that carefulness doesn't quite match the energy of the song, then the vocal take might not be as good as one of the next ones that the vocalist might record. However, a few takes down the road, the vocalist might be getting a little bit tired, and so there could be some raspiness or some gravel or some blemishes in their vocal performance that they don't want to be there. Some vocal performances, if the energy of the song needs it, then that rasp can actually be really useful when the vocalist is getting tired. So you want to think about the context of the vocal within the song, but you also want it to be nice and clear and crisp and on tune and in time. But what I don't want you to do is to listen the whole way through the track while you're evaluating your vocal takes. Be a little bit more judicious than that and focus more on sections. And if you need to, you can narrow down to phrases, and I'll show you some ways to narrow things down even more if you want to split up some of the vocal takes and in order to get the best one possible. This, for example, is the first line of the second verse.
Like little seeds, we try so hard. We stretch our limbs to reach the sky.
As you can see, there are little groups of waveforms, and it will help your efficiency to just focus on each one of those groups one at a time. So as this
Like
verse
little
begins,
seeds, we try.
you could focus just on that.
Like little seeds, we try. So, like little seeds, we try.
Here the timing is okay, but it sounds as though the vocal has already been tuned, and it's a little bit rough. There's some artifacts in there.
Like little seeds, we try. So, like little seeds.
Right there. Now I've put this empty track at the bottom here, and I'm going to take from the top one and choose that.
We try. So, we try. We try. So, we try. We try. We try.
This second line is a useful example of how the vocalist can have some variances in the way that they perform the song. The third take is prettier than the first one. The first one has a little bit more oomph to the way that the vocalist performed it, while the third take is a bit smoother. So depending upon the context of the song, you would want to choose one over the other. This is the second verse of the song, and the energy of it drops down a little bit. So I wouldn't mind having the vocalist's performance match that by being a little bit smoother. However, I really like the way that this vocalist performs things with an oomph as well. So it's tough to choose sometimes.
We try. We try. We try. We try. We try. We try.
The timbre is very different as well. Now, since it's taking from the same take, I'm just going to extend up to here.
So hard. We stretch so hard. So hard. So hard. So hard. So hard.
Now let's listen to this combined.
Like little seeds, we try so hard.
Now, as we get into this larger group of waveforms, this is where you want to be a little bit more precise. If you need to pull out just a single word at a time, then you want to find a little gap between.
We stretch our limbs. We stretch our limbs. We stretch our limbs. We stretch our limbs.
So I would choose right there. You notice how I'm trying to find a break before the next word starts.
We stretch our limbs.
Okay, now we're missing the rest of the line.
To reach the sky. To reach the sky. We stretch our limbs to reach the sky.
I'll choose the third one here. Make another little break. Let's have a listen.
So hard. We stretch our limbs to reach the sky. We stretch our limbs to reach the sky.
Pretty good. Locating your edits in this way between phrases and between words is a very useful way to make your editing process invisible to the final track, because you don't want to make your cuts in the middle of a held note, for example. If the vocalist has a very long held note and you make your cut right in the center of it, the two pieces won't fit together very well because the vocalist will have some slight differences between the way that they performed it. Maybe in one take they had more breath than the other, or they're straining a little bit more, trying to sing a little bit louder than the other take. So finding these little gaps is a very useful way to make sure that your editing process is both efficient and invisible to the final song. You'll notice that I made a cut right before a word that starts with the letter T.
Limbs to reach
The word to. Choosing that spot precisely is really important because phonemes like K or T, they start without using our vocal cords. We don't use our vocal cords when we make them. It's just the position of our tongues in our mouths and we push air out. P is another one. But as we do that, since we don't use our vocal cords, it has a little bit of a pause between a syllable where we do use our vocal cords, or a phoneme where we do use our vocal cords, then a K sound, and then another syllable where we use our vocal cords. So having or locating little spots like that, if you do need to get more precise, that's how you would want to do it. You would want to find the little phoneme spot where you can make that break, because the sound of it will be fairly consistent throughout the recording as the vocalist performs and makes those noises with their mouths. And then you can get as precise as you need to. But as I said, I don't want you to listen to the full song all the way through. Be judicious about it and just focus on a section at a time. Then if every vocal take is great, then you're not losing anything. But if there are just little spots that could be improved by pulling some of the vocalist performance out from a different take and comping it into the better take, then go ahead and do that. But make sure it's invisible, make sure that it's efficient, and make sure that it's effective by paying attention to tuning, timing, and texture, and finding those strategic spots where you'll make your cuts. Try it out.